Good morning, folks. Welcome to our sea day here on board the Wonder of the Seas. It is our final day. We are now heading off to the captain's corner at 10 o'clock here, where he's going to answer some questions and tell us some information about the wonder of the seas.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Royal Theatre. Welcome to Captain's Corner. I'm Michele, your cruise director from Napoli, Italy. Put your hands together and welcome to the stage, the master of the Wonder of the Seas, Captain Rock. We're going to start right here. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning, Captain. My name is Sylvie. I'm from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I have a question of course, for the captain. Some ships use the water of the sea to calibrate the ships. Does the Wonder do the same thing? And my second question, if I can, do you use those seawater to filtrate to provide clear, pure water for your guests?
Yes. We use a lot of water. In fact, we go through about 2,000 tons a day. It works out to be about almost 200 liters per person per day. We track it, and every voyage we look at the numbers at the end of the voyage. And sometimes it depends too if we drain a pool or not, because we have freshwater pools. We are a little different on Wonder, where the majority of our water is reverse osmosis. Where on most of our ships we have a combination of two, where we use the waste heat from the engines that are running. That heat goes up the smokestack, and that heat is captured in an economizer, and that steam that's made from that heat is used in what we call low pressure evaporators, where we essentially take seawater and boil it in a vacuum, because you can boil water at a lower temperature in a vacuum, and capture the condensate.
Captain, I have a question right here. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Captain. I got a question here. Can you explain your take on what a harbor pilot does for the Wonder in ports such as Canaveral and Nassau? And do we take a pilot in Jamaica?
We do. Well, for those who don't know, pilots are the local advisors that most ports have, not all of them, but most ports have. And his role is basically looking out for the interest of the port and therefore traffic control for ships. What you don't want in a port is a free-for-all and ship traffic, ships competing to get in first. So, for example, Nassau is one of those ports where we have ships arriving and there's a very tight schedule. We all stack up and come in. We have to be on time and we have to perform the maneuver and go into the right berth, and everything has to go as planned or it all gets messed up. And we take pilots on all the ships, and they're there to help facilitate that process. And anything that's needed in this regard, the pilot is to support that. That's the primary role of the pilot. Think of him as like his responsibility to the port, my responsibility to the ship. In doing that, we make it a safe and efficient arrival. Same in Port Canaveral. We will pick up a pilot, and he's there and coordinating with the pilot that's going to be on the ship behind us, the pilot that's going to be on the ship in front of us, and making sure if there's any delays and why and what can be done and so on. And so it just ensures that this whole process works as it's supposed to. And that's the primary function of that. Certain ports, the pilot will take more of a role just because of the complexity of the port. But at the end of the day, the pilot is just an advisor, and he works for the captain, and the captain has command of his ship and never gives it up to anybody. That said, if the pilot gives me advice, I'm obligated to follow it as long as it's lawful and safe, and we work together. But he'll be one to give me the local knowledge I might not have as well. He's one to say, yes, buoy number 5 is out of position. We had a storm 2 days ago, and it blew a bunch of sand into the channel, and now that side of the channel is shallow. We need to favor this side of the channel, etc. So these are the kind of things that the pilot's going to give me information about. You know, Port Canaveral, we come in and the jetways for the gangways, they have to be in the lowered position, for example, when we come in. Otherwise, they don't fit under the lifeboats, and we can't get alongside until those are lowered. And oftentimes we come in and find one of them's in the up position. And we're coming down the channel, and I'm looking with binoculars, and I'm giving the pilot an elbow and say, okay, we have to lower that thing or forget it. You know, we're going to smash it to pieces. And so he gets on the phone and starts shouting at the guys ashore. All of a sudden, it starts to come down. Hopefully. So far, so good. But no, the pilots for cruise ships, cruise ships, I have to say, we are highly maneuverable. We have a lot of power. We're designed to be self-sufficient. We're big, and we need to be self-sufficient because one tug is equal to about 1.5 thrusters. And most ports don't have more than 2 tugs. So we really have to be able to do all this on our own. So the ship itself can function. But cargo ships, on the other hand, are coming and going through the ports when we're not around. They require tugs, they require a lot more assistance. So the role of the pilot on those ships is far greater than it is here because he's going to help coordinate the tugs together with the captain and they get the ship alongside. So for us, it's much different. We have a different kind of need.
We finished the captain's corner session. I really did enjoy this one compared to the other ones. They didn't really have a whole presentation. It was mostly Q&A the whole time, so there were some good questions asked by everyone here. I was finally able to get that answer why we did not see a pilot on Falmouth, Jamaica's departure. So we only took a pilot for our arrival and not our departure. So that was a very interesting fact to understand from Captain Rob over there. Captain Rob's a really cool captain, by the way, so if you ever have a chance to sail with him, he's super cool. So go ahead and say hey to him if you see him around the ship. As you can see here from the jogging track at deck number 5 here, you can see we're making good progress as we head back to Port Canaveral, and the weather is absolutely beautiful today. Folks, since it is a sea day, we're going to go ahead and have El Loco Fresh, which is right behind me, for lunch today. Okay, so what we got is we got 2 chicken tacos, some chips, a quesadilla, and of course some queso sauce here. Overall, I've been really impressed with El Loco Fresh this cruise, and it's must try, of course, if you are on a ship that has one. Hi folks, well, it is time for the best of the best competition here on the Wonder of the Seas. You're about to see my run. Folks, that was our dinner in the main dining room. It was absolutely fantastic this whole entire cruise. We had a great service team as well as great chefs back there in the kitchen making up some fantastic meals. Now I am trying to decide if I would be up to see the arrival or not. I think I will be because tomorrow is NCL Prima's final Canaveral arrival. So hopefully we'll be in before her, but if not, we'll still get a cool arrival in nonetheless. Good morning, folks. Welcome to day number 8 of our cruise, if you will. We are arriving now back to Port Canaveral, Florida. It is 4:30 in the morning. So we're going to go ahead and show you our arrival here. A lot of ships in the mix right now. So Pod Boat 3 is coming alongside now. So getting pretty close to coming alongside here in Port Canaveral. the ships for today are in port, so that means we have one thing left to do, and that is sadly disembark this beautiful vessel. Alright folks, we made it back here to where it all began, Port Canal, Florida, Cruise Terminal number 1. Thanks for watching this series. If you did enjoy it, please consider hitting the subscribe button and clicking the bell so you'll be alerted about new videos when they come out. I've been your host Tyler, and we'll see you on the next one.